Morning.
John Blau, Herald Times. You've obviously taken over a couple of offenses, Eastern Michigan, Fresno State, now Indiana. What is the biggest challenge you would say in taking over a new offense, and what have you learned from those experiences that you took here?
Oh, I think every move, I've probably become more efficient in adjusting, and really you kind of prioritize what you think fits, the personnel that are here. And then I think there's a great balance, and Coach Allen kind of alluded to it. There's a great balance of still doing some of the things that they did well before you got here. And there's some great schemes and great things that were executed well, the last few years. And so, balancing that along with bringing in, your style. I just think over the past, few years have become more efficient in that. And, my hat's off to the staff that, I get the chance to work with every day. I mean, they're experts. I consider myself a lifelong learner. And so I just enjoy sitting in the room and kind of hearing, the way they do things, have done things throughout their careers. And I just think that, like Coach said, I know what I like, but doesn't always mean it's the perfect way that fits, who we are right now and the personnel that we have.
Now we've read the 247 Sports. Coach, you got to see obviously Peyton and Jack in team stuff in the spring. How, I guess, get excited to see Michael now when the kind of bolts are more live.
Yeah.
See how he kind of adjusts and handles all that.
Yeah, that's the case for a few guys, not just Michael. Wap at receiver, and Cole Guest at running back. None of those guys really took many team reps, and Michael in particular didn't take any. And so, just having him have a chance to go through the summer through their team activities. I'm expecting, that he's taken another step or two, and now he can be full-fledged in the offense along with the other quarterbacks. And I'm excited to get on the field tomorrow and just see where we're at. What the guys, not just the quarterbacks, but the rest of the offense has accomplished, and how much more comfortable they are from the 15th practice we had in the spring. So the guys have been working extremely hard. I know that they're buying into it, and in the end, we need to create the attitude. We need to create the attitude as an offense. You don't install that; you create it. It isn't a play that installs that you install that gets the attitude. It's the mindset of the guys and what they do with the offense that we install that creates the attitude. So I'm excited about what Mike's going to do here this fall.
Jim Boyle, Indiana Sports Beat. Coach, in the last couple of years, the offense has been very close, but it seems like it was just short. Are you confident that all the pieces are in place for this offense to be as successful as it can be?
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of variables that happen throughout the years, and you got, some experienced offensive linemen you kind of hang your hat on. You got some skill guys that are coming back, and you can put 5 guys out there that have played some football around the quarterback. So, I think. Every year you kind of have your own adjustments and spin. And even if I was here this year and next year, you might tweak a few things just to fit who you are and what you do well. And so the pieces are here. I watched the guys this spring and just continued to went back after the spring and this summer, watched last year's games again, and you just have a good feeling that. Another year of experience underneath all of these guys' belt, and a few tweaks here and there, and, we can be off and rolling.
Zach and then Pete.
Zach Osterman, Indianapolis Star. I guess kind of along those lines, as you studied what Indiana did last season offensively and where some different guys fit, are there areas that you can kind of pinpoint and say, I think in my scheme, or as guys get older, whatever, get a little bit more out of there, maybe the run game, tight end usage, things like that?
Yeah, I think hopefully our tight ends, and they're all still young, but they're all now a year older too. And so I think they're capable of doing the things that I like to do, and the tight end's been a heavy involvement in the offense. It isn't always receiving yards, but a lot of times it is. It's just having guys that understand, the blocking schemes, the protections, the routes. There's a lot that goes into that position, much like a quarterback. And the tight end, I think, is a position that needs to continue to grow. And then, I mean, Stevie really ended up carrying the load last year, kind of more out of necessity. Hopefully we can get multiple backs out there at a time because we do have a strong running back position that all is a year older. And again, that position, no seniors in that group. Just the reps that those guys have taken in their careers, hopefully the experiences that they have will help them, all be better this year. And I think it will because I know their heart and minds are all in the right spot. And, you just go right down the line. Every position group's kind of that way. The receiving core, 2 of the top 3 receivers from last year returning, and I think just probably more than anything is having that continuity to where you can have a go-to guy at the critical moments or go-to guys so a coverage can't roll to a specific person in the critical moments when you need to move the chains, when you're in the red zone or when the game's on the line. So, and then there's other receivers I know that are looking forward to their opportunity that have had, their moments here or, about to have their moments.
Pete and Kevin, Coach Pete DePernier, IUFB.com. Two-part question. One, how do you assess the weight in terms of tempo? You want to vary it or up tempo? How up tempo will you be? And second, how big a part will the running backs be in the receiving game?
Yeah, I think the second part, the running backs I hope are very involved in the receiving game, and you always got to protect first. But if they're a threat to have the ball in their hands and more than just a way of handing it to them, I just think that those are some of your best athletes that you have on the football team. Not just here, but in a lot of programs, and so. They're explosive kids, and I think they've really seen that they're going to get their touches if they run their routes right and can gel with the quarterback and understand their assignments and the timing. And then the tempo part, this spring we were completely focused on execution. Executing the plays because in the end they're still going to come down to a third downs where there is no tempo. To where you have to execute, the defense got lined up, you made a substitution, and so, the official's holding the ball, and so you have to execute that play. And so, as we're installing the offense, we focused on the execution. Now, varying, you use the word vary, I think it's a great word, having the ability to vary the tempos, I think is critical. So a defense just can't get into a pattern or a routine or a rhythm. And to me, that's what offense is all about. It's about the rhythm and then having the ability to speed it up and throw something on them when the right time, occurs. Maybe they're on their heels or, you just, there's a great flow. And a lot of times those play calls are by the situation, the scenario that's happening. But I think having the ability, and we will have that ability to play faster, and I know that the guys are very comfortable with that. I think as the spring went along, you saw that, the base concepts that we were running, they were executing them faster and getting lined up in the formations quicker and making the little adjustments and stuff. They were much more efficient in doing it. So I'm excited to take that to the next level. We were very, simple, I think, this spring. Showed those guys, in the spring, and then we have some opportunities to meet with them a little bit in the summer. What is still out there that we will do, and so there'll be some installs, around 4 and 5 where there's some things that they haven't done yet, and so that's something that they've seen and they kind of understand, but they haven't executed. So the first 3 practices I would expect to be pretty smooth and things that they're very comfortable with.
Kevin, then Tom.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, CNHI. The ability to make big throws downfield, how much of a premium will that be placed on when you're determining a starting quarterback?
I think it's important. It's important to, I think less than 5% of drives last year that were touchdowns, didn't have an explosive play, and so you need to have explosive plays. And a lot of times what explosive plays to me are is a matter of timing and accuracy, and so I think all our quarterbacks have the ability to throw the ball down the field far enough as long as they're throwing on time. And I think that's the thing, as they go through their progressions, just make sure we're hitting that progression to the deep ball at the right time. And, I think those guys have kind of understand some of our core concepts and have been working on it this summer. And we were, successful at times this spring doing it as well. So we'll continue to polish those up and expand on the offense and the opportunities that we can have to throw the ball down the field. But I do think that, that's very important. You can't just throw it out there. And you want to scare the defense. You want it to go. You want it to be a touchdown. You want it to be a big play, no doubt.
Tom?
Coach, you mentioned that you like to kind of match what you're doing to the personnel you're doing it with. As you go into August here now with 3 quarterbacks with a variety of strengths and different strengths and weaknesses, how does that handle what you want to try to do this month?
Yeah, that's probably the hardest thing. When you can pretty much lock arms with a quarterback and you know who that person is going in, and you can develop everything you do around them and talk through every scenario. You can do it with all the quarterbacks as a whole, but until that person's in that situation, it's really hard to simulate and hard for them to kind of grasp really what's going to happen and how it's going to go down. And so, it's one of the tougher things that we'll have to handle during fall camp. But it's what it is, and we're gonna make the most of it. And I think all 3 quarterbacks are they're very intelligent guys, and they pick things up quickly. It comes natural to them. They're instinctive, and so it's just a matter of them hearing from me when those situations come up, how I want them to handle it.
Matt?
Kind of off that question, Coach. When you have this competition, kind of what's your timetable for when you like to have it over so that you can, as you said, lock your arms with that guy and start focusing on, game plan and season and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I hope it presents itself to where but I don't feel like you can really put a timetable on it. I've had times where it's gone into the season, 3-4 weeks, you hit the conference, and then you got to make your decision. But you hope it doesn't happen that way. But probably 3 of the last 4 years has been around. I mean, I've had this type of situation, and every scenario it's a little different. So I know it's going to be competitive. I know that the guys, the one thing that's it's really cool about being around this group is they all respect each other so much. In fact, sometimes they get concerned about, as they're competitive and trying to win over the team and things like that, they don't want to step on the other guy's toes. And, we've had those conversations, in the position room and just understand, hey, everyone wants this to be their team. And everyone's got to do their part, and Coach Allen's, talked about being vocal. I've really emphasized that, getting out of their comfort zone to try to show that, hey, I see you guys, I see myself in the starting quarterback role as they go through their practices and their workouts. But they all respect each other so much. You can tell. And I'm not sure. I don't think they really hang out together necessarily every day, away from the facilities, but they're all in it together, and they want our team, I think, in the end to be successful, and that's what they care about the most.
Last one, Zach.
Sorry, this is kind of a bigger picture question, but you talked about being in that process a lot over your career. Do you feel like it's more common, maybe having, whether it's young guys coming in more prepared to college, to be able to challenge older guys, but just maybe it's more common that you get more of that competition and it's a little bit less of a regimented kind of by seniority thing at quarterback than it used to be?
Seems like it. I don't have really a great answer for you, to be honest, because I was just thinking through the scenarios as you were talking, and every scenario happened in a different way. A guy transfers in, a younger player is progression through his career is becoming better, greater, and he's developing. So it isn't like there has been, some guys just it was their time, and so. I can't really give you a great answer on that. Every scenario I think has been different from what I've experienced over the years.